Welcome, movie buffs and curious minds. Today, we're stepping away from the predictable and diving headfirst into the heart of cinema with a little game we like to call movie mystery. The premise is simple. Instead of choosing a film from the top of the charts or a classic everyone already knows, we let a random generator pick our adventure for us. Because sometimes the greatest stories aren't the ones you seek out, they're the ones that find you when you least expect it. Think about the last time you were looking for something to watch. How much time did you spend scrolling through endless rows of thumbnails, paralyzed by the paradox of choice? By surrendering to randomness, we break free from indecision and our own biases. Perhaps your comfort zone is a quiet drama, but today, chance might hand you a blistering action film from the 1980s or a silent comedy that will change your perspective on storytelling. This isn't just about fun, it's an education in film. Each spin of the wheel can land on a forgotten gem, a cult classic, or even a fascinating failure. It reminds us that cinematic greatness isn't always immediate. After all, films like The Shawshank Redemption were box office disappointments before becoming universally beloved. So, what happens when we hand over control? We engage with stories and styles we might never have chosen. We discover a director's early work, a supporting actor's hidden talent, or a creative risk that leaves us thinking for days. Every film is a time capsule, a product of creative decisions, cultural moments, and a little bit of chaos behind the scenes. For today's movie mystery, our randomizer has sifted through thousands of titles, and the needle has landed. So, get comfortable and let's see what fate has in store. The projector is rolling, and our adventure is about to begin. The film our journey leads us to today is a gripping, visceral, and profoundly moving masterpiece from 2006, Alfonso Cuarón's dystopian thriller, Children of Men. Our story throws us directly into the year 2027. The world is not one of flying cars or sleek utopias, but of grit, decay, and deafening silence. Humanity has been afflicted with global infertility for 18 years. Not a single child has been born. The world has collapsed into chaos, but Great Britain stands as one of the last vestiges of a functioning, albeit brutally oppressive society. We meet our protagonist, Theo Faron, a former activist now turned cynical, disaffected bureaucrat. He is a ghost haunting his own life, moving through a London scarred by terrorism, caged refugees, and a government that preaches order through fear. His existence is a monotonous cycle of work, whiskey, and visits to his old friend Jasper. This bleak equilibrium is shattered when Theo is abducted by the Fishes, a militant immigrant rights group led by his estranged ex-wife, Julian. She presents him with an impossible task: use his government connections to secure transit papers for a young refugee named Key. The mission seems straightforward, if dangerous, but its true purpose is a secret of world-altering significance. In a shocking turn of events, Theo discovers why Key is so important. She is pregnant. She carries the first child to be conceived in nearly 2 decades, a fragile, miraculous symbol of hope in a world that has forgotten the meaning of the word. Suddenly, Theo is no longer a passive observer. He becomes Key's reluctant guardian, thrust into a desperate cross-country odyssey to deliver her to the Human Project, a mythical scientific group rumored to be working in secret off the coast. Their journey is a relentless flight from both the government forces that would exploit the child and the radical Fishes who want to use her as a political weapon. The plot guides us through a series of harrowing set pieces, a terrifyingly realistic ambush on a country road, a brief, bittersweet sanctuary at the home of his friend Jasper, and finally, the war-torn chaos of the Bexhill refugee camp, a sprawling, lawless ghetto where survival is measured in minutes. It is here, amidst the gunfire and explosions, that Key gives birth, and Theo must lead her and the newborn through a literal battlefield, where the sight of the baby inspires a moment of stunned, reverent awe, a temporary ceasefire in a war at war with itself. The story resolves not with a grand victory, but with a quiet, uncertain flicker of hope, leaving the audience to contemplate the monumental weight of this single new life. At the heart of Children of Men are characters etched with realism and profound humanity, whose journeys make the film's dystopian world feel terrifyingly personal. Our protagonist is Theo Faron, brought to life with weary soulfulness by Clive Owen. Theo is not a traditional hero. When we meet him, he is a man hollowed out by grief and disillusionment. The loss of his own child years ago, coupled with the slow decay of the world, has stripped him of purpose. Owen masterfully portrays this apathy, his face a mask of exhaustion. But as he is forced to protect Key, we witness a gradual reawakening. His cynicism cracks, revealing the deeply compassionate man he once was. His journey is not about becoming a super soldier, but about rediscovering his own humanity. He is clumsy, he is frightened, but he keeps moving forward, driven by a protective instinct he thought was long dead. Then there is Key, played with incredible authenticity by the then unknown Clare-Hope Ashitey. Key is the vessel of humanity's future, but she is far from a saintly, passive figure. She is a refugee, a teenager who is foul-mouthed, scared, and deeply skeptical of the world around her. She carries her miracle with a mix of defiance and terror. Ashitey's performance is crucial. She grounds the film's central symbol in a raw, believable personality. Her bond with Theo evolves from mistrust to a deep, familial connection, forming the emotional core of the entire film. No discussion of the characters would be complete without mentioning Jasper Palmer, portrayed by a truly unforgettable Michael Caine. Jasper is Theo's oldest friend, a former political cartoonist living in a hidden forest sanctuary, caring for his catatonic wife. In a world of gray despair, Jasper is a vibrant splash of color. With his long hair, laid-back demeanor, and constant supply of marijuana, he is the film's source of warmth, humor, and wisdom. Caine sheds his iconic persona to become a gentle, aging hippie who provides not only refuge but also crucial moments of levity and love. His fierce loyalty to Theo and his ultimate sacrifice provide one of the film's most heartbreaking and powerful moments. The supporting cast enriches this world further. Julianne Moore as Julian Taylor is the fiery catalyst who sets the entire plot in motion, her conviction a stark contrast to Theo's apathy. Pam Ferris plays Miriam, the midwife and former militant who becomes Key's steadfast companion, embodying a quiet, maternal strength. Even the antagonists, like the ruthless leader of the Fishes, Luke, are not one-dimensional villains, but people twisted by ideology in a desperate world. Each character feels lived in, their motivations complex, making the stakes of their survival feel intensely real and deeply moving. Beyond its gripping story and characters, Children of Men is a treasure trove of filmmaking genius and fascinating details. Here are 5 facts that make the film even more remarkable. First, the symphony of the single take. The film is legendary for its use of incredibly long, complex, unbroken shots, masterminded by cinematographer Emanuel Lubezki. The most famous of these is the car ambush scene. This heart-pounding sequence, lasting over 4 minutes, was filmed using a specially designed camera rig mounted on the car, allowing it to move 360 degrees to capture the chaos both inside and outside the vehicle. The shot was so complex that it took 12 days to prepare for a single day of shooting. The result is an immersive, terrifying experience that places the viewer directly in the car with the characters. Second, the inspiration for Jasper. Michael Caine's warm, counterculture character Jasper was not a product of pure imagination. Director Alfonso Cuarón encouraged Caine to draw from his own life. Caine based Jasper's accent and mannerisms on a man he knew in the 1960s named John Lennon. He imagined what Lennon might have been like as an older man, a peaceful hippie who had seen it all. This personal touch is what gives Jasper such an authentic and endearing spirit, making him a fan-favorite character. Third, the unscripted blood splatter. During that same iconic car ambush scene, a pivotal moment was actually a complete accident. As chaos erupts, a drop of fake blood splatters directly onto the camera lens and remains there for the rest of the shot. The crew immediately yelled cut, but Cuarón insisted they keep rolling. He recognized that the mistake added a layer of visceral realism, breaking the fourth wall and reminding the audience that they are witnessing the event through a lens. It became one of the most talked about moments in the film, a perfect example of a happy accident enhancing the art. Fourth, world building without exposition. Children of Men famously drops the audience into its world with almost no explanation. The backstory of the infertility crisis and the global collapse is never delivered in a neat monologue. Instead, the filmmakers built the world through background details. Newspapers on the street hint at the Siege of Seattle. Graffiti on the walls screams political slogans, and advertisements for suicide kits are seen in passing. This technique, known as environmental storytelling, trusts the audience to piece together the state of the world, making the discovery process more organic and immersive. Fifth, a poignant musical nod. The film's soundtrack is meticulously curated, but one of the most moving choices is heard in Jasper's home. He plays the song Ruby Tuesday by the Rolling Stones. While a beautiful song on its own, its inclusion is a subtle tribute. In the world of the film, the youngest person on Earth, baby Diego, has just died at 18 years old. Ruby Tuesday was the #1 song in the United Kingdom 18 years before the film's setting. It's a quiet, heartbreaking detail that connects the world's last-born child to a piece of culture from his birth year, deepening the film's sense of loss. Decades after its release, why does Children of Men still matter so deeply? Its legacy is not just in its technical brilliance, but in its almost prophetic relevance and its profound emotional impact. Cinematically, the film was a game-changer. Its use of long, fluid takes and a "you are there" documentary style has influenced countless films and television shows since, from action blockbusters to intense dramas. Director Alfonso Cuarón and cinematographer Emanuel Lubezki perfected a style that prioritized immersion over slick editing, proving that technical mastery could be used to amplify raw human emotion. They created a new visual language for grounded science fiction, one where the future felt less like a fantasy and more like a terrifyingly plausible extension of our present. But its influence extends far beyond filmmaking techniques. The movie's themes have only grown more resonant with time. When it was released in 2006, its depiction of a society grappling with refugee crises, political division, and environmental decay, and a loss of hope was seen as a dark warning. Today, these elements feel less like fiction and more like reflections of our daily headlines. The film has become a cultural touchstone for discussions about immigration, nationalism, and what it means to retain our humanity in the face of despair. It is a film that is studied, debated, and cited not just by film critics, but by sociologists and political commentators. Interestingly, Children of Men was not a major box office success upon its release. It was a critical darling that found its audience slowly through word of mouth and home video, growing in stature to become regarded as one of the greatest films of the 21st century. This trajectory is a testament to its enduring power. It's a film that doesn't just entertain, it burrows into your consciousness and stays there. Ultimately, the movie's legacy lies in its powerful, unwavering message. In a story steeped in darkness, it is fundamentally a film about hope. Not a blind, easy optimism, but a difficult, hard-won hope that is born from a single act of courage.
It argues that even in the bleakest of times, the instincts to protect, to care, and to sacrifice for the next generation is the most powerful force we have. The final, unforgettable sound we hear in the film is the laughter of children, a sound that reminds us what is truly at stake, and why the fight for a better future, no matter how daunting, is always a fight worth having. And now, the conversation turns to you. We've journeyed through a world on the brink, met characters defined by their despair and their courage, and uncovered the incredible artistry that brought this story to life. So, I want to ask you, what part of this journey resonated with you the most? Which character's struggle or strength stuck with you?
Was it Theo's profound transformation from a man with no future to the guardian of everyone's? Or perhaps it was Jasper's defiant warmth, creating a small pocket of love and sanity in a world gone mad. Maybe you were moved by Key's resilience, a young woman forced to carry the weight of the entire world on her shoulders. Or maybe it was one of the behind-the-scenes facts that captured your imagination. Did the story of the accidental blood splatter on the lens change the way you see filmmaking mistakes? Or does the sheer technical ambition of those single-take sequences leave you in awe of the craft? These details are more than just trivia. They are windows into the creative process, reminding us of the passion and ingenuity that goes into making a truly unforgettable film. Think about it for a moment. Which character or which fact will you carry with you from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. There is no right or wrong answer. Your perspective enriches the conversation for everyone, helping us all see the film in a new light. Let us know what stood out to you and why. We can't wait to read what you have to say.